Good morning. Today will be my 5th run from Plumstead Common to Queen Elizabeth Hospital. I'm back again. So I'm about to head to my first bus, which is the night bus, the N11 to Victoria Station. So let's go. So I'm at Victoria. I'm just waiting for my next bus, which is the number 36 to New Cross. And I just wanted to share a glimpse of Victoria itself. And the bus is in the way. There we go. Typical, isn't it? We're going to hang 5. Be a little patient. You're going to see it.
For the safety of all of our customers, please remember that smoking is not allowed on any underground station. Please keep your belongings.
There we
This
go.
is a contract call for ABM. Contract call for ABM. Can a member of the ABM team please meet the supervisor?
They don't build them like that anymore.
Escape 4, 5 or 6. As with a member of ABM,
Okay, there's the 36. On to New Cross. There we go. Just passed through Peckham to arrive at New Cross Gate. Just waiting for the 53 now to Plumstead Common. So there we go, ripping through London like the wind. Here we are in Plumstead Common, which is steeped in turbulent history. Now in 960, King Edgar gave 4 plough fields, known collectively as Plumstead. King Edgar gave these fields to St. Augustine's Abbey, a monastery. These fields were taken from the monastery by Earl Godwin, who gave them to his son Tostig. Now, King Edward the Confessor, upon ascending the throne, he took back the land and gave it back to the monastery. But when he died in 1066, Tostig, with the help of newly crowned King Harold, who was King Edward's brother, Tostig took back the land again. Now, after Harold died at the Battle of Hastings in 1066, William the Conqueror gifted Plumstead to his brother Odo, the Earl of Kent. I think I need to lie down after all that. So here I am at Queen Elizabeth Hospital in the London Borough of Greenwich. So originally, in 1978, it was called the Queen Elizabeth Military Hospital, and it dealt primarily with victims and casualties of the Falklands War. Most notable, the dear respected Simon Weston came through here for treatment. Now, the current form of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital was opened 23 years ago in 2001. Now, the country is struggling and the NHS itself is struggling, no doubt. I just spoke to a very nice gentleman, Nigel, and he's from the local area, and he said, look, we can all complain, about, foreigners coming and take the job. But he said this country has let the youth down in the first place. that the country didn't invest in the youth. For instance, better education, training, and so on. And so naturally, we have to welcome in people from Eastern Europe and Asia and Africa. That's just the way it is, And we mentioned that we can't blame the foreign people, and we can't blame the youth either, because we as a society, and not just the government, we as a whole, we have let the youth down. And that's a big part of why the country is struggling and why the NHS is struggling, So God bless Nigel, who's gone back in now. He's actually a patient here, and he's, waiting for 2 phases of treatment, 1 phase here and 1 phase in a different hospital. So the whole country is struggling. On a more optimistic note, from last year, this hospital has received a 30 million refurbishment budget, which we hope by the grace of God that the people will utilize justly and put it towards the correct places, the infrastructure and the energy sources where it's actually needed. So this is Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And now I'm going to run back to Plumstead Common. So there we go. I just ran 3.2 miles from Plumstead Common to Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and now I'm back here at Plumstead Common. So at the hospital I met a good old school English fella from round here, actually, Greenwich Borough. Nigel, his name is, and he is a long distance truck driver, lorry driver, and we got to talking about the NHS, the Falklands War, the current condition of the country, how things change and how we have to accept certain changes. This is the nature of the beast, isn't it? So while it's nice to have eye candy videos, appealing to the eye, funky sound effects, funny memes, and sometimes artistic or historically interesting videos, all that stuff has its place. But today's video touches upon the current condition of the country, and in specific the NHS. So I hope you can forgive the length of the video today, but I think it's relevant and it's necessary. So I've caught 3 buses to get here today. The first was the N11, the night bus from Hammersmith to Victoria. Then there was, what was it? I think it was the 36 from Victoria to New Cross. Then I caught the 53 from New Cross to Plumstead Common. So along the way I saw working class workers, of European descent, Asian descent, African descent. Some of them, could be actual Africans or, Caribbeans or whatever the case may be, all catching at least 2 buses to get from the sort of central London area to get way out into the sticks area, to the big industrial complexes and things, or whatever they are going. So it's just to highlight the plight of British people. A lot of people, they commute from outside of London just to get into London, just to get a decent wage, just to take it back outside of London to pay rent that's rising. And on the other hand, which it's not so well spoken about, is people who actually live in central areas like Chelsea and Hammersmith and Whitechapel and all these places, Tower Hamlets, to just catch 2 or 3 buses or trains to go and work outside of London, to earn not that much money really, to then go back to London to either, share the rent with their wives or girlfriends, partners, or you know, if we're fortunate enough to have council flats, that is, or, you know, the single people sharing a house with 3 or 4, 5 strangers. So this is the condition of the country, and it's not befitting just to blame the government. Okay, the government has its flaws, but the government also do some, you know, forms of good. So we have to be just in our speech. We have to take collective blame, you know. I'm not a capitalist, and I'm not a communist. I'm a Muslim, and I have to speak correctly and directly with the truth and justly, that we all of us have our part to play, major or minor, and every man knows his own shortcomings and every woman knows her own shortcomings. So I don't want to rant for too long, but I just felt that as a country we need to look at these issues and absorb the intricacies of these issues, and then hopefully we can have more empathy towards each other, you know. So let's try to understand each other and empathize with each other and overlook what is befitting to be overlooked. What do you think? Let's just run. Let's just get out there and run for autism. So, on we go. We're going to catch the 291 to Woolwich. Then we're going to hop on the Elizabeth line to Whitechapel. And then from Whitechapel, we're going to take the Hammersmith and City line, or the District line, to Hammersmith. And then grab a coffee. See you in a bit.